All right. Well, another week, another horror movie. Just to pass the time, it's fine. Hallmark has Christmas in July, and I guess we have Halloween in May and June. Got that covered. So
That passes.
Join Pikachu, Ash, and the gang. The Mandalorian is great in the new series, and let's check out what's new in the world of pop culture with your hosts John, Tim, and Quentin, and a podcast we call Rewind
and Reload.
yeah, that works. That makes sense. We need our own thing on this podcast because we're so big. But anyways, before we get into that and stuff, want to see what the boys have been up to. So Quentin, what have you been up to?
Not much. I saw the Bob Burgie movie. That was pretty cool.
I didn't know that was out. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Get cultured.
Jesus.
Once again at the movie theaters, I was visually attacked by previews of the new Avatar movie. Definitely not excited about that, but Bob's Burgers was really good. It kind of felt like the Simpsons movie, or I don't know, is it heresy for me to say the Simpsons movie was good?
No.
I think some people have differing opinions on it, but it's kind of like what they did with the Simpsons movie, where it felt like just a long episode of The Simpsons in a good way. That's kind of what the Bob's Burgers movie felt like. It was just a long episode of Bob's Burgers, but in a good way. It wasn't like drawn out or any stupid shit like that.
That's cool.
But I don't want to talk too much about it in case anybody wants to go see it. But
are there burgers in it?
There's burgers. Oh, they got burgers.
Oh shit, dude.
Oh,
That's all I
They
need to know.
got burgers.
Spoiled the whole thing. You spoiled it.
What can I
Is
say?
Bob in it?
If anybody is thinking about seeing it, I'd definitely go recommend it for sure. Other than that, I don't know. I think that's pretty much the most exciting part of my past couple weeks.
How about you, Timmy?
Yeah, I didn't do anything interesting and fun. Nothing at all. At all. Ever. That's it.
I think
saw
I
you
was
were
on
playing
a-
League of Legends. That's pretty. That's pretty fun, right?
Yeah, I have a terminal illness now, so.
Ooh.
Um,
My favorite thing about League of Legends is nothing. Actually.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. The game fucking is the bane of my existence.
It's the itch you can't scratch.
Something I can't scratch. I don't play okay, so there's two modes that I'll play. I'll play games against bots, and I'll play there's this one mode where it's everyone gets a random champion, and there's only one lane. And those are the only two things I will not play normal mode in that game. I can't do it. I get too mad.
It's understandable. I don't like anything team-based like that. It's not my cup of jam.
Cup of jam.
Yeah, that's what I have every morning.
Big,
A cup
thick
of
cup
jam?
of jam.
Yeah, you heat it up on the
How
stove,
do you eat it?
You drink it.
Oh.
You heat it up on the stove and you toss it back.
Oh. Shit. Okay, I might
Every
try
morning.
that.
I don't.
Scalding hot jelly
Yeah,
down
it's
your
just
My blood sugar is
throat.
perfect. My doctors
Super
say
high.
never been better.
Never been higher. is
Never
what they
been
say.
better. That's the truth.
I don't believe that.
It's the truth.
Tooth. There are none.
My week was pretty decent. I went down to my grandmother's because it we went and picked up our 4-wheeler that I bought off of her, and I
4-wheeling. Like,
in-laws.
oh, fair enough. Okay, I was like,
Yeah, that's where we're gonna keep it during the summer, so Carly can do go to her gardens on their property because she has 2 different gardens on their property.
You're not gonna. Oh,
So she's
yeah.
gonna be able to drive
It's like-
that around.
okay, I thought it was like when I was like a kid and I'd like go to my grandparents and they had like a 4x5 thing of concrete in their backyard that I would skate on. Like I'd ride my skateboard on it or whatever. I thought you were like doing that in your backyard with the 4-wheeler or something. Just like,
Yeah,
going
on your
back and
4x5
forth.
thing of concrete behind your garage.
Yeah.
Probably more than 4x5. That's a
That's-
pretty big pad of concrete, but
Oh yeah, that's way bigger than 4x5.
well, you're only
It's
allowed to
like-
use four or 5 of it.
Yeah,
the
that's
rest
all
of
I'm
it's
allowed
like
to use.
seedlings.
The rest of it currently is covered in plants. Actually,
yeah.
it's covered in
and chickens.
no, they're
Yeah, the chickens
they're
have the
somewhere
chickens
else.
have their own sugar shack.
Yeah, Tim saw it. It's
Yeah.
big. It's
Mhm.
very big. But so while I was down there, I told her that I would help her do some of her landscaping because she's trying to sell her house. Well, I went ahead and me and Carly mostly spread 200 bags of mulch for her. So that was super fun. And I
Sounds like a
just
good
want to
time.
sleep all weekend. Yeah. Now I want to sleep all this weekend. So
See, this is why anytime I go to visit any family, I have a cast I put on my leg. Crutches I bring. So that way I don't have to help with shit.
you're just constantly hurt.
Yeah, they don't need to know. They don't know my doctor said I've never been better.
Just don't
fair.
just,
That's
just
fair.
do what I do and tell them no.
No.
Pay me. I know it's your grandma, so you're never gonna say this to her, but like
Well, she gave me the 4-wheeler at like
Oh,
a
fair
fucking
enough.
killer price.
all the
so
rest of all the
I
rest
like-
of
yeah, like I got something out of it. Like
Why
'Cause
didn't
it-
you use the 4-wheeler to spread it? You could have
We
just like
did.
drove. Oh, okay.
well,
I
like you
say,
can't
just, like-
you can't do that because you can't
No,
like
yeah, sure you can. You put it on
she
the
has a bunch
back.
of plants that
You
are
put it on the back,
potted,
you
it's
slash
by
the back of the
house.
thing real quick and you just drive off.
Yes, exactly. Or
Well, yeah,
or,
we pretty much like took it around and I put it where it needed to be. I did use it to move the mulch around the house.
Okay.
No, you should have used it for everything. The whole thing. Did
Okay.
you,
Should've
you,
got,
could have made a sweet ass jump. Actually, that's what you
Oh
should
my
have
god.
done. That would have added some property value.
It's a utility one, so it's not going to jump very good.
Oh, well.
You can get one
Colin's
sweet
got a
jump.
racing quad that I
You can
love.
get one sweet jump. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna have that there for her business, and then have it at our house during the winter so we can plow. Because I got to plow for it too.
Nice.
That name again.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Plow.
Mr. Plow,
Plow King.
Mr. Plow, Mr. And then how it kind of went.
Something like that.
Like
He was trying to be
jingle.
sexy or something.
Yeah.
That's the part
God,
that I
remember
always
that
remember.
episode so much. Yeah.
I have it on DVD somewhere around here. I just don't know exactly where it is.
Quentin should know it by heart. He's actually
I
seen
don't.
like every episode of The
He's
Simpsons.
actually voiced Homer Simpson in seasons 13 through 27. So
That
Oh,
was
Quentin
me.
did?
Yep.
yeah, a lot of people think that
Shit.
it was during that point in time where the guy Dan Castellaneta was just doing Kingdom Hearts voice acting. So Quentin had to step in and
That's-
take over.
Do you know why
Yeah,
Marge sounds
that-
different nowadays?
Because it's my voice. I'm Marge Simpson, actually.
That
I
too.
didn't tell you
I thought
guys.
it was because Nancy
You do
Cartwright
Homer.
fucked her voice up so bad.
That's what Fox wants you to think.
What? Give us your best Homer impression, Quentin.
I don't have one. I don't have
Come on,
impressions.
just try
I think
it.
this is a known thing about me. I have one voice, and it's this one.
That's fair. Yeah, because even when like you tell a story and you like imitate someone else, it's still just you. It's just your voice. What was that?
Are they your neighbors?
He's just
Are we gonna have to blur your audio in case of
I don't think that would have came through good enough to like actually be
No,
intelligible.
I'm just saying I don't want someone to.
I think a crime is about to happen outside of my apartment.
Oh no.
At least you have video evidence that you weren't a part of it.
I think they drove off.
Oh, okay. There we go. Maybe we'll edit around that part. Jesus.
That was
It
interesting.
Kirby with the
All right.
knife.
Yeah. What the fuck? Then he just like pulled up in front of my neighbor's house and started yelling, "Fuck you!"
I guess that might be a good transition into starting the topic, maybe.
Actually, no. Here's the perfect transition. So, a couple of weeks ago, outside of that apartment, or maybe it was inside, I don't know, about 3 a.m., somebody stabbed somebody or something. I'm assuming they got stabbed. They came out of the apartment and their arm was all bloody, and, the cops and the ambulances came. And you know who else stabs people? The guy
Mrs.
from our topic
Voorhees.
today. The guy from our topic. He
That
stabs people.
paramedic.
Do you know his
from
name?
The third movie.
Jason
Bourne.
Jason.
Voorhees.
Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ.
Jason Bourne.
Voorhees.
Yeah, that was a good transition. So today's topic, obviously, is Friday the 13th. It's another horror movie. I think it'll go well with our last topical episode because did Elm Street. There's a little crossover
And I did
there.
it on purpose. So
I also have a fun. So towards the end, I'll start talking about the media and stuff, and something Tim I don't think hit last episode. I can hit this time that I think will be pretty interesting.
okay.
So, anyways, before I get into the movie itself, I thought it would be kind of a cool little thing to go actually back and talk about why Friday and 13 specifically, like that number, is viewed as bad. So with everything with the episode or the movie and everything being pretty much named this because they wanted it to be a bad like with the bad luck day. Friday the 13th, long considered a day for bad luck, has weirdly enough inspired a good deal of things. The horror franchise, a 19th century secret society, and yes, I did say secret society, and I'll get to that. And then also two terms that actually describe the Day of Fear. It has two separate ones. I told myself that I was gonna try to say these words, and I'm starting to kind of like wuss out here. So, but I'm gonna do it. Parashakadevdikatrivophobia.
All right, so
Maybe.
let's break this down. Paris, like the Pokemon. Cave. Deca. Triophobia.
Paracave decatriophobia. The next one is
Frigga.
Frigga. Yeah.
Can't forgive it. The Frigga.
Like
Frigga.
the
Frigga
I don't know.
Triskaidekaphobia. Pretty close. I probably
All right.
I butchered the
all
fuck.
right. Let's
But collectively, those two words together have 46 letters. So, yeah.
let's do a fun
Pretty
thing
good.
here. Hold on. I have the
So
first one
both
lined
of
up.
those-
Are you fact
why
checking
does-
me right now?
Why does
I have- Here we go.
Παρασκευεδεκατριοφοβία.
Oh.
I don't know why it had an
Okay.
accent, but there you go. And here's the second one.
Fregatriskaidkophobia.
Why
Why
did
doesn't
this
that one
phobia get 2 names?
I didn't look into it enough.
Fair enough.
Anyways, so much like walking under a ladder, crossing paths with a black cat, or breaking a mirror,
I've done all this
my
stuff.
personal favorite bad luck thing is the tails of penny. I actually like. You can ask Carly. I will not touch a penny that is tails up. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Lincoln's
It's my thing.
Lincoln's fat cheeks too,
Yeah.
dude.
Fucking, he has no right to be double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. Okay.
On a 1 cent coin
So-
that costs more to make than it does in value.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, many people hold on to the belief that Friday the 13th brings bad luck. It's not confirmed, though, on why exactly this particular tradition began. Superstitions, pretty much like most superstitions, this is swirled around that just really particularly the number 13 for centuries. Not so much the day.
It's probably the Bibble.
So, what's up?
So it's probably the Bibble,
I'm gonna get to that.
the Bible. I did see some reference to the
Yeah,
Bible.
come on, get out of here. So, anyways, like really any superstition that we think of today, this particular day has many possibilities on why it's seen as bad. I'm gonna kind of run through them. So many think that it's because the number 12 is seen as a number of like completeness or wholeness. This is mostly due to the fact of there being 12 days of Christmas, 12 months in a year, 12 zodiac signs, 12 feats of Hercules, 12 gods of Olympus, 12 tribes of Israel. So a bunch
12 donuts in a dozen.
Except if it's a
Yeah,
baker's
but
dozen.
Baker's dozen is way better. Can I fucking talk tonight?
12
Jesus
sides of a
Christ.
dodecahedron.
Anyways,
12.
and subsequently 13 comes right after that number, obviously. Throwing off the balance that's kind of like seen in all these cultures.
I don't want to freak you guys out, but
Um,
you know what 12 backwards is? 21.
21.
The movie,
Should we edit that? Should we edit that?
the movie that
sound
killed Jim Carrey's career.
good. I was thinking about that kid going 21.
Oh, that too.
No,
Or is it the number
that's what my
23?
brain
I don't
went.
remember.
So it said that the
Oh, it is
ancient code
23.
of
Fuck.
the ancient code of Hammurabi, for example, reportedly omitted the 13th law from its list of legal rules. But
Why?
this has also been kind of proven that probably it was just a error lost to time, and just like a clerical error that they did. But regardless, superstitious people definitely mostly point to that being a reason why. A lot of other things, though, you kind of see a pattern. It's much, it's much like a set in religious pool of reasons. According to the Bible, there were 13 attended guests at the Last Supper held on Maundy Thursday, including Jesus' 12 disciples, one of whom Judas. The next day, of course, was Good Friday, which would have been, 13 Friday, which was the day of his crucifixion. Not a good Friday for him.
Or,
with this-
depending on how you see it, the best Friday for him.
Average Friday for me.
He may have
Average.
suffered, but he did die for man's sins.
Yeah, true. I
And that's why
guess.
I'm announcing
Um,
today that I will be starting my own religious commune called Tim's Town.
Timstown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with obviously this, it's a long-standing superstition in Christianity that 13 guests. Oh my God, I knocked over a microphone. 13 guests at a table means the courting of death. Also, just want to say real quick, I put this in my notes. The phrase courting of death is pretty fucking metal. Kind of want to put it on a t-shirt. Anyway, more to make Friday seen as bad or evil. Just as Jesus was crucified on Friday, Friday was also said to be the day that Eve gave Adam the apple from the tree of knowledge. Also, it's said that Cain killed his brother Abel on
How do
Friday.
we?
What's up?
Never mind. I just don't understand how these religious. I don't want to say religious people in general, but the people who are saying this specific kind of stuff is like, well, this all happened on Fridays, when
Yeah.
literally, why did the fuck would we have a system of days in the Garden of Eden? Like, it didn't fucking matter. It was infinite until
Yeah. Yeah. Until people created.
it was the
what
first.
days
Oh,
were,
it was
pretty much.
it was the first Friday,
Yeah.
and then
Party time.
yeah, and then
TGIF.
what they don't tell you is that the reason Cain killed Abel was because he smoked. He smoked up big time. Had a bad trip.
Fair. So now, obviously, in my humble opinion, Christianity most likely demonized the number 13 on purpose. Christianity very much wanted people to convert from their religion to, their religion. One of the big ones being paganism, which on Friday the 13th, you would celebrate Aphrodite in Greek culture and Venus in Roman culture. Both very prominent goddesses of beauty, love, fertility, and Christianity being very much a religion based on a patriarchy, meaning, all men above everybody else except for God. God's also a fucking God, so God's also a man. I can't speak. Yada yada. They wanted to make this day evil so that you're not, giving thanks to a woman, a goddess at that.
Seems pretty sus.
Yeah. So other reasons why other reasons why this day could be seen as evil is Friday the 13th, 1307. Officers
God.
of Philip the Fourth of France arrested hundreds of the Knights of Templar, powerful religious and military order formed in the 12th century for the defense of the Holy Land. These people were imprisoned on charges of various illegal behaviors, but really it was found out that it was just because the king wanted their financial resources. Many of the Templars were later executed. Some cite the link to with the Templars as the origin of Friday the 13th superstition, but like any legends involving the Templars and their history, the truth is very unclear still, because they were very secretive. And in more recent years, which these aren't super recent because some of these were before we were born, but more recent than 1300s. German bombing of Buckingham Palace happened in September 1940. Holy crap, dude. Obviously on Friday the 13th. Murder of Kitty Genovese. But Genevieve's. Thank you. Didn't really know who she was until I searched this.
You never read Watchmen?
No.
She's the person that Rorschach cites as his inspiration for getting into crime fighting because no one did anything.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Anyways,
yep. But Rorschach's also fucking insane. So,
well, yeah, she was murdered in Queens, New York, March of 1964. Which, like, if you're like me and you didn't know, her name was Catherine Genovese, right?
Genovese.
Yes, that. She was a 28-year-old woman who was brutally murdered outside her Queens apartment. Her attack lasted around 30 minutes, and she was stabbed 14 times by a man named Winston Mosley. Few other events. A cyclone killed more than 300,000 people in Bangladesh in November of 70, the disappearance of the Chilean Air Force plane in the Andes in October of 72, the death of rapper Tupac, September 96, and the crash of the Costa Rican cruise ship off the coast of Italy, which killed 30 people in January of 2020.
Have you seen the, I guess specifically Quentin, have you seen the Internet Historian video on the crash of the Concordia?
I have not, no.
It's a wild story and a half.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't know about that. It's relatively recent.
Yeah. When I started searching this, I'm glad that I went this way because I learned about a lot of just, I would say, coincidences, but it's pretty crazy. Now this next part is all about the secret society that I obviously teased earlier, called the 13 Club. So in the late 19th century, a New Yorker named Captain William Fowler was seeking to remove the long stigma surrounding the number 13 and the bad luck of the number, blah, blah, blah. He particularly wanted to unwrite the unwritten rule about not having 13 guests at a dinner table by founding a very exclusive society. The group dined regularly on the 13th day of the month in room 13 of the Knickerbocker Cottage, which when I was researching it was lost. It's like actual articles that it was just lost. It was supposedly on 6th Avenue and 20th Street in New York, New York. This was a popular watering hole Fowler owned from 1863 to 1883. Before sitting down for a 13-course dinner, which sounds awesome. Members would pass Members would pass beneath a ladder and a banner reading in Latin. Not going to try it because I've already butchered enough words tonight.
Morituri te salutamus.
Say it again for the crowd.
Morituri te salutamus.
All right. In Latin, that means those of us who are about to die salute.
That's what the gladiators would say
fun
before
fact.
they fought.
Oh, okay. So, fun fact, there were actually 4 former U.S. presidents that were a part of the 13 Club at some point or another. Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, and Theodore Roosevelt.
2 of those guys got shot. I watched a full 2 through, maybe it was pretty long TikTok about Grover Cleveland and how like the doctors basically killed him. Oh wait, no, that's I'm thinking Garfield, the President Garfield, not Cleveland Brown Garfield, the cat. You know, easy mix up anyone can make.
Anybody could have made it.
But no, you guys know about that thing with Garfield? How the doctors killed him and not the bullet?
No.
So like,
yes, no.
He was
I know
shot
a little bit.
It was only like a 3-inch wound from where he was shot, and the bullet got lodged in him. And the doctors were like, the first doctor on scene just like started sticking his fucking fingers in there trying to get it out. But then this was before germ pathology took off in the U.S. So he was just sticking his fucking dirty fingers in there.
Oh,
and,
God.
If that didn't cause him to be septic, what happens next will? Because they just fucking cut a huge incision in his side and then left it open, trying to like get the bullet
Makes
out.
sense.
And then, yeah, he went septic and died.
Shout out my boy Ignaz Semmelweis. The crazy idea to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Then he got thrown in an asylum
For washing his hands?
Basically.
for suggesting to doctors that they should wash their hands so that birth mortality rates would go down.
Oh. No, you just got to stick it in there. Dirty.
And then,
If it works for cows,
Yeah.
it should work for women. That sounds really bad, but that was the attitude.
yeah. So,
Jesus.
yep, Ignaz Semmelweis, the hand-washing goat.
There we go. So, so anyways, back on topic. Why does this all matter? Obviously, like I said before, talk about Friday the 13th. So why does this all matter? Unless you've kind of been living under a rock, no shade there. It's fine. There is like this massive horror franchise called Friday the 13th. And actually, up until the most recent Halloween movie, this was actually the largest horror franchise. So let's just get into it. Friday the 13th is an American horror franchise that comprises of 12 slasher films, a television series, novels, comic books, video games, and obviously tie-in merchandise. The franchise mainly focuses on the fictional character of Jason Voorhees, who was thought to have drowned as a boy in Camp Crystal Lake due to the negligence of the camp staff. Negligence is kind of a nice way of saying that they were all boning and not actually watching any of the children.
It happens.
Yeah. Decades later, the lake is rumored to be cursed, and it is the setting for the series of the mass motivation for the killings. The original film was created to cash in on the success of Halloween. It was written by Victor Miller and was produced and directed by Sean S. Cunningham. The films have grossed over $468 million at the box office worldwide. Frank Mancino, and oh my god, my brain. Producer for the film, whatever, is Frank. Also developed a television series show Friday the 13th. The series was launched after Paramount releasing Jason Lives, which, if I'm remembering right, is the 6th installment. The television series was not connected to the franchise in any by any character or setting, but was created based on the idea of bad luck and curses, which the film series symbolized. While the franchise was owned by Paramount, 4 films were adapted into novels. The Friday the 13th Part 3 adapted by 2 separate authors. And when the franchise was sold to New Line Cinema, Cunningham returned as a producer to oversee 2 additional films, in addition to a crossover film with Freddy Krueger, which obviously we learned a bit about when Tim ran through Elm Street franchise a few weeks ago. So check that episode.
Yeah,
Damn, plugging your episodes now.
Plugging our own episodes in the podcast, baby.
Yeah, you're welcome. Under New Line Cinema, 13 novellas and various comic book series featuring Jason were published. Although the films were not popular with critics, Friday the 13th is considered one of the most successful franchises in America, not only for the success of the films, but also because of the extensive merchandising and repeated references to the series and popular culture. The franchise's popularity has generated a fan base who love the character so much they've created their own Friday the 13th films, which I will touch on towards the end of the episode. Jason's hockey mask has become one of the most recognizable images in horror and pop culture. Like I mentioned before, the original Friday the 13th was produced and directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who had previously worked with filmmaker Wes Craven on The Last House on the Left. Cunningham was inspired by the success of Halloween, wanted Friday the 13th to be shocking, visually stunning, and make you jump out of your seat. He wanted to distance himself from Last House on the Left, so Cunningham wanted Friday the 13th to be more of a roller coaster ride. The first film was meant to be a real scary movie, and it's at the same time make audiences laugh throughout the series. And that pretty much stays prevalent all the way through. It gets more jokey and hokey towards the end, obviously, but they definitely try to cash in on the laughs and the scares. So the concept for Friday the 13th began as nothing more than the title, a long night at Camp Blood. which was the working title Victor Miller used when he drafted the script. But Cunningham believed his Friday the 13th moniker, he believed in it, he wanted to get it done. So he rushed to place an advertisement in the International Variety, worrying that someone else owned the rights to the title and wanted to avoid potential lawsuits. Cunningham thought it would be best to find out immediately. Cunningham commissioned a New York advertising agency to develop his visual concept for Friday the 13th logo, which consisted of big block letters bursting through a pane of glass. It's pretty cool for the time. I think it's probably one of my more favorite intros to a horror movie. So in the end, Cunningham believed that there would be no problems with the title, but distributor George Mansauer contends that there was an issue. Quote, there was a movie before ours called Friday the 13th, The Orphan. Moderately successful, but someone still threatened to sue. It's unknown whether Phil Scuderi paid them off, but the issue was eventually solved. So it would have been kind of weird to think of it not the title it is. So now to the music. I thought this would kind of be... I wanted to stay away too much from like just the, constant talking about like the plots like on and on. I feel like every time I do an episode about something like that, I touch on that too much. So I was trying to move away. So to the music. When Harry Manfredini began working on the musical score for the original film, Manfredi, I remember his name. The decision was made to play the music only alongside the killer, so not to trick the audience into believing the killer was around during moments that they weren't supposed to. Manfredi explains that the lack of music for certain scenes is deliberate. Quote, there was a scene where one of the girls is setting up the archery area. One of the guys shoots an arrow into a target and just misses her. It's a huge scare, but if you notice, there's no music. That was a choice. Manfredi also noted that when something was about to happen, the music would cut off so the audience would relax a bit, which allowed the scare to kind of be more effective when it was there. Since the killer in the original Friday the 13th does not show up until the final reel of the film, Manfredi had the job of creating a score that would represent the killer in their absence. He was inspired by the 1975 film Jaws, where the shark is not seen for the majority of the film, but the motif created by John Williams cued the audience to know like when the shark was present. While listening to a piece of Christoph Penderecki music, which contained the chorus with striking pronunciations. He was inspired to recreate a similar sound for Friday the 13th, which he came up with the sound ki 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 ma ma ma, based off the line "Kill her, mommy," which the killer recites repeatedly in the final reel. To achieve the unique sound he wanted for the film, he spoke the two words harshly, distinctly, and rhythmically into a microphone, ran them through an echo reverberation machine, and he actually finished the original score after a few weeks, recorded in a friend's basement. He said he makes note of the mispronunciation of the sounds. Quote, everyone thinks it's ka ka ka, like cha cha cha, like, cha cha cha. Like, and then quote, what are you talking about? So now to move on to the reception of the film. Friday the 13th films generally received negative reception from professional critics in contrast to other slasher films like Halloween. Critics disliked how the series favored a high body count over plot and character development, and how each film was almost indistinguishable from the last. And as a friend, I do agree. Or a friend. As a fan, I do agree with this.
Yeah.
I often think back on kills, and I don't remember exactly which film it was from.
No, but you remember some of them because they were iconic, and
Yeah.
then other ones
you
are
don't
just somebody
remember
getting a
which
fucking
film it
machete to the
is.
face. So
Yeah. But like you remember the iconic ones, but then you can't remember which film it was in. For me.
well, the best one of the best I think is in the worst Friday movie. It's the girl getting her face dunked in liquid nitrogen and then smashed against the table in Jason X.
Yeah. Well, Jason X is the easy one because it's futuristic.
Yeah, and then they redid the famous sleeping bag kill in that movie, which was dumb, but okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have to have the sleeping bag kill. Come on.
Yeah, I guess.
So, anyways, the films were a financial success, prompting Paramount to release more sequels contingent on the box office appeal. When comparing Friday the 13th to other top-grossing slasher franchises in America, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Halloween, Psycho, Saw, Scream, Chainsaw Massacre, and adjusting everything for 2018 inflation, Friday the 13th was the second highest grossing slasher franchise in the United States, approximately $755.6 million, just behind Halloween in first place with $813 million. The financial success also extended into the home release as well, with more than 5 million DVDs sold by 2005. Up until recently, many fans thought the franchise could never really take the top spot back or really do anything. And this was mostly because in 2016, Victor Miller filed a lawsuit against Friday the 13th's producer, Sean S. Cunningham, for the rights to the franchise. So now the rights have been given to Victor Miller. So maybe we'll see something in the future. But
yeah, that lawsuit's the
hold on.
reason that there's no official servers for the Friday the 13th game anymore.
Yeah.
It's all
Really?
peer-to-peer servers now, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to the impact. So in 2006, IGN ranked Friday the 13th 7th in the top 25 film franchises. The qualifications included the franchise must have at least 3 films released before December 2006. The franchises must be either a commercial or artistic success. The franchise must have had some form of impact on pop culture. So 3 senior editors, the editor-in-chief and IGN's entertainment editorial manager, judged the various film franchises. In commenting on Friday the 13th's 7th place ranking, the general consensus among the reviewers was that even though the Halloween franchise started the slasher genre, Friday the 13th became one of the, quote, most influential franchises of the 1980s. And that its commercial success through 11 films, novelizations, comics, blah, 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 proof kind of the legacy of this. Also, ABC Online Arts and entertainment reporter Gary Kimball makes note that the popularity of the franchise throughout pop culture. He points out Jason's Mask, which is not even adopted until the 3rd film, is one of the most widely recognized in pop culture. So, okay. I'm sure everybody after that long-winded discussion is like, hey, we want to hear about the fucking movies, dude. So I am going to run through the movies pretty much I'm just going to flow from one movie to the other. I'll kind of tell you where we're at here and there. But like we discussed earlier, they kind of feed off of each other. They flow into one another. They're almost indistinguishable in a way. So I didn't really think it would be necessary to like hit everyone separately. So we'll just start at the beginning and work our way through. In the original Friday the 13th, 1980, Miss Pamela Voorhees, Betsy Palmer, stalks and murders teenagers preparing Camp Crystal Lake for reopening. She is determined to ensure that the camp does not reopen after her son drowned in the lake due to the negligence of 2 staff members. The last counselor, Alice Hardy, fends off Mrs. Voorhees long enough to grab a machete and decapitate her. In Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason is revealed to be alive and fully grown. After killing Alice Hardy, Jason returns to Camp Crystal Lake to guard it from all intruders. 5 years later, a group of teenagers arrive at Crystal Lake to set up a new camp, but Jason murders them. Guinea Field, the last counselor Jason attempts to kill, finds a cabin in the woods with a shrine built around the severed head of Mrs. Voorhees. Guinea fights back and slams a machete through Jason's shoulder. Jason is left for dead as Guinea is taken away in an ambulance during the final events of Friday the 13th. During the final events of Friday the 13th Part 3, Jason removes the machete. In the beginning parts of that. Sorry. I had a typo. Anyways, he pulls a machete from his shoulder and finds his way to Chris Higgins' local homestead. Chris returns to the property with some friends, and Jason kills anyone who wanders into the barn where he's hiding. Taking a hockey mask from a victim to hide his face, Jason leaves the barn to kill the rest of the group. Chris seemingly kills Jason with an axe to the head, but the night's events drive her into hysteria as police take her away. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which, spoiler, real quick, it's not the final chapter. We got a lot more. This continues where Part 3 leaves off. Jason found by the police and taken to the local morgue after an axe. Upon arrival, Jason wakes up to kill the coroner and the nurse before returning to Crystal Lake. A group of friends rent a house on the lake and fall victim to Jason's rampage. After killing the teens, Jason seeks out Trish and Tommy Jarvis, who live next door. While distracted by Trish, Jason is attacked and ultimately killed by Tommy. Friday the 13th, The New Beginning, follows Tommy Jarvis, who is committed to a mental health institution after the events of the final chapter, and grew up constantly afraid of that Jason would return. Roy Burns, who uses Jason's persona to become a copycat killer at a halfway home in which Tommy has moved. Tommy, Supervisor Pam, and a young boy named Reggie managed to defeat Roy. They eventually learned that Roy had a son who was murdered by one of the patients in the institution, triggering Roy to take the Jason likeness and kill everyone there. Friday the 13th, this would be Part 6, Jason Lives, begins with Tommy visiting Jason's grave after being released from another mental institution. Dude's doing great. Tommy inadvertently resurrects Jason with a piece of fence surrounded by the cemetery, acted by a lightning rod. So he wanted to make sure he was dead. I wanted to explain this a little better. He took a piece of the fencing and like jabbed it in, like to, kill him. And he brought him back to life because he's a fucking moron, really. Jason immediately heads back to Crystal Lake and kills the people working at the new summer camp. Tommy eventually changed Jason to a boulder that he tosses into a lake where he leaves Jason, who is revealed to be alive.
Sure does.
Friday the 13th. What?
I said he sure does.
Yeah. So Friday the 13th, part 7, the new blood begins in an indeterminate length of time after Jason lives. Jason is resurrected again. I guess he's not resurrected again. He's actually released by a telekinetic Tina Shepard, who is trying to resurrect her father, whom Tina caused to drown in the lake when she was a child. So she's like trying to use her powers to bring him back to life. It's really weird. Anyways,
What's the fuck? Like, you're gonna bring your dad back to life? He's just gonna be the fucking swamp monster.
yeah,
He's been underwater. Like, can her powers regenerate him too, or like?
I don't
have
know.
a zombie dad.
Apparently not.
I mean,
but
she
this
kinda
is
did.
What was the goal? You know,
Jason's her zombie dad now.
Fair
Jason's
enough.
everyone's zombie dad.
Yeah, he's my zombie daddy.
Ew.
Yep.
Sorry.
This is coming from me. This is coming from me. Ew.
So, anyways, Jason once again, gets out of the lake and kills those who occupy Crystal Lake and is returned to the bottom of the lake after a battle with Tina. Jason is resurrected again in Friday the 13th, part 8. Jason takes Manhattan by an underwater electrical cable, brings him back to life. He follows a group of students on their senior class cruise to Manhattan from Crystal Lake. Somehow.
Tributaries, even
That's
though it's
not
shown to be a
connected to
landlocked lake.
anything. It's a landlocked lake. How did they get to Manhattan? I'd ask. I don't know. Anyways, it's just that part pisses me off. It's so dumb. Anyways, he follows them to Manhattan, where he kills the ship. On the way, he kills the ship's crew and a majority of the students. Upon reaching Manhattan, Jason chases Reddy and Sean, the two remaining students, into the sewers. Jason eventually melts away because the sewer is flooded with toxic waste.
Right. No. It's not that
Toxic waste.
It's not that the sewer is filled with toxic waste, but I mean, I guess it is. There is a scheduled toxic waste time in the sewers of New York that is apparently
Yep.
toxic enough to melt away a body.
Immortal
human corpse.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just
totally.
New York, baby.
In the next film, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Once again, not the last one. Jason, through an unexplained resurrection, is hunted by the FBI at Crystal Lake. The FBI sets up a sting that successfully kills Jason. Through possession, Jason
Yep.
manages to survive by passing his black heart from one being to the next. It is revealed that he has a sister and a niece, and that he needs them to get his body back. Jason ultimately does resurrect himself, but his niece, Jessica Kimball, stabs him with a mystical dagger, and he is dragged into hell.
And you're telling me with a straight face that this is one of the top 7 movie franchises of all time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It gets better with the next film, which is Jason X. It was a 2001 movie. So cool. It takes place in the future when Jason has again. So it takes place in the future, but it's written kind of weird. So I'm gonna. The beginning of the movie, it's current time 2001 that he's resurrected somehow, and like hunting people down. So a scientist, Rowan La Fontaine, decides that when he's getting chased by him and about to die, he decides that cryogenic suspension is the only method of stopping him. But Jason breaks free and kills all the army personnel guarding him before he. I fucked up again. Hold on. Yeah, never mind. So he does that. He breaks free, kills a bunch of guards that are guarding him. So Rowan manages to lure Jason into a cryo chamber, but he ruptures the tank and freezes both himself and Rowan. So Jason and Rowan are both froze. Over 400 years later, a team of students studying Earth discovers Jason's body and takes it into space. Once being thawed by the team, he proceeds to murder everyone aboard the spacecraft. He is seemingly killed, but is then resurrected via nanotechnology as a cyborg version of himself. Finally, he is ejected into space and incinerated by Earth 2's atmosphere, his mask falling to the bottom of the lake. And so this also has a sex robot in this movie that then gets an upgrade into a Jason kicking Jason's ass robot.
That's true. That does happen.
Yeah, and she's dressed very skimpily the whole time. The scientist that goes to thaw him is also dressed weirdly like Paris Hilton. That's the one that gets her face nitrogen.
She's like a weird tube top and shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like space.
Great film.
Space couture.
If you got on to any scene in that movie, just like a scene without context from that movie that's not a killing scene, any other scene, you would think that it is a softcore porn. 100%. So, anyways, the next Friday the 13th is actually going to be Freddy versus Jason. It was a crossover with Nightmare on Elm Street. We talked about it last time, so I'm really not going to go into it too much. So I'm going to move forward to the last one that we've had so far, which is...
Wait, real quick. When does fucking Freddy versus Jason happen? Like, isn't he frozen for 400 fucking years?
It's a different timeline, my friend. All
yeah,
right.
It's a different continuity thing. It's
dumb as shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
I hate this.
All right, so the final one that we've had so far is a new Friday the 13th film. It was in 2009. It's just Friday the 13th. It restarted the film series continuity. In the film, after witnessing his mother being beheaded at a young age, an adult Jason follows in her footsteps and kills everyone who comes to Crystal Lake. Jason subsequently kidnaps a young woman, Whitney Miller, who's played by the girl from... she was on the Disney Channel. I can't remember her name. Anyways, if you watch it, you know who it is. But she, in the movie, resembles his mother at a young age. 6 weeks after her disappearance, her brother, Clay Miller, who's played by Jared Padalecki of Supernatural, comes to look for her. The pair reunite and work together to seemingly kill Jason. So the final thing...
I like that more than like restarting the continuity or whatever and like telling a different story with the same characters more than like he gets frozen for 400 years. Now he's in space fighting sex robots. Like
a lot of people weren't a big fan of the 2009 one, but I thought it was really good because it took part 1, 2, and 3 and put it into one movie. And I thought that was a good idea because 1, 2, and 3, if you watch them now, it's kind of a drag of them. movie, so it kind of speeds up some.
Yeah, that sounds like fucking 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like really the only ones you need.
Yeah, so it pretty
No,
much
that's
takes.
accurate.
Yeah, it takes all of those. So,
Yeah, it sounds like 5 through 12. Well, 5 through 11.
Also, just a little fun fact, since last week we talked about how Freddy was conceived under less than consensual circumstances. In the Friday the 13th game, it's also implied that Jason is.
yeah.
Oh,
So that's fun.
They're serial killers.
Yeah, because, you know, it just happens.
So I didn't write this in, but sci-fi. This was what I was a little treat for everybody before I get into the fan made stuff. There is another movie that was made. I can't remember what year, but it is a movie that sci-fi made of. It was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, the comic series. They took and made it into a sci-fi movie.
Freddy
So
versus
it's out
Jason
there.
versus what? You froze up for us.
Ash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they made
versus
Ash Williams.
Bruce
from-
Campbell with the chainsaw hand
Yeah.
from Evil Dead.
This is a foreign language to me.
Oh my god.
Quentin doesn't watch movies that aren't
Sam
Star
Raimi's
Wars.
fucking first film ever
I don't
made.
even watch Star Wars. My dad watches Star Wars.
That's why you have to watch them. You are familially required.
It is in
So
the
anyways,
family
go-
contract.
Go check that movie out. It looks from the previews, it looks terrible. Like it looks like any kind of sci-fi movie. But on to some good stuff. There's two I guess I'll just read through this. So the series has been kind of stale for some time. Kind of the legal limbo thing, but obviously, that got figured out. But I do have some good news in the interim before maybe they make another one, hopefully. There is actually 2 fan-made films that have come out and are available on YouTube for free. They have been out for a while now, but not a lot of people know about them. So that's why I kind of wanted to make an announcement on here. I don't really want to get into them because the first film's only like an hour long and the second film's like 45 to 50 minutes long. They're really quick and you can watch the whole thing. But the visual effects, the story plot, the characters, they're just awesome. They're great. There's a few guest cameos here and there and people that were from the original series that came back to play different roles or their same role. So keep your eyes peeled for that, but I definitely highly recommend the watch. And those will be Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow. Awesome films.
And the third one, Never Hike Alone in the Snow.
Also, never hike.
Oh.
Never hike in the desert.
Never Hike in the Forest will be the next one.
Never hike in the mushroom biome at 3 a.m.
Challenge gone
So-
wrong.
So that's all I got. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any closing statements on the series. That is that's my favorite horror franchise. It's one of my favorite horror movies. Part 3 personally is my favorite, just because that is where he donned the mask.
Mask.
I don't know if you guys have a favorite. Quentin probably doesn't because he's probably never watched any of these.
No.
Quentin's favorite is I almost said Halloween. Is Friday 3 because of the really cool 3D effects that they decided they had to do to cash in on early 3D.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yes.
favorite is Jason X because it sucks.
I was gonna say, everything about Jason X sounds terrible.
Oh, it's fucking
It is.
bad.
We could do a film review on it sometime and have Quentin watch it for the first time.
I would just shit
And we could
on
watch.
it, probably.
Dude, we
I
could
have
do a
no ties
space
to that
episode.
series.
But we could do a space episode. We
Space.
could do Jason X. Then we could do Leprechaun in space right afterwards. And there's got to be Dracula 3000. That's another horror space movie. And they're all terrible.
What
Alright,
about
alright.
Event Horizon? Never seen Event
Sure.
Horizon?
No, I
It's
haven't.
It's the movie with the space blood orgy.
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
yeah.
It's got like two
Okay.
mainstream actors in it, and that's it. The rest of them are like nobody.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. That's it. So yeah, that concludes my stuff. So I mean, I don't know, if you guys don't have anything else, we can hit some plugs and then record the little mini-sode. Daddy can get to
Yay.
editing because you're gonna watch this episode. It's gonna come out the same day we're recording.
That's putting a lot of hope in my internet uploading these video files fast enough.
Maybe tomorrow. So it'll be a day. It'll be one day. So
Yeah, I don't know why you're trying to rush things, John. It's fucking 10 o'clock.
I'm pumped, full of energy because I went to Starbucks, recorded this, and I finished my coffee like right before. Yeah, double shot espresso.
And Liquid Death.
Oh yeah, sponsor us, please. Thanks.
All right, you can find me on Letterboxd at Timmy C. Twitter and Instagram is Hot Pink Waffles, and Twitch is Uncle Fungal Shroom. I promise you I'll stream one day.
I'm on Twitter, Boxwine, Twitch, Boxwine, except the O is a 0.
I'm not John on all my social medias. The podcast you can find at RRP Podcasts. You can also email us if you have any like suggestions or like weird pop culture facts or something, I guess, like that we could talk about, make talking points on our mini-sode. You can email us at rrppodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's about it.
I think so.
Goodbye.
Sayonara.
I love you.